Welcome to BIMFM Africa. I am your host Kaouthar Jedda and I will talk to you today about BIM implementation simplified. First of all, many thanks to BIM Africa for the invitation and for this great opportunity, and special admiration for the organization that's more than wonderful. Let me first start by a brief summary about myself. I am Kaouthar Jedda, Tunisian architect with over 15 years of experience in architecture and construction technology. I am a BIM consultant and founder of BIM Tunisia, where we basically implement BIM and produce training courses and provide BIM services. In my career as a BIM trainer and a BIM consultant, almost every few days I receive these type of questions. We want to start working with BIM in my company. What do we need to learn? I want to build my career in BIM. What should I learn first? How can I become a BIM manager? Where to start from? It's already a very unprecise question that cannot be answered simply. You should have already found lots of definitions and presentations from the net. Yet, you might get confused. That's why I will try to explain simple basic steps to implement BIM, where to start, and your first missions as a BIM manager, in addition to real examples of BIM processes, whether preparation, documentation, or communication. I organized these steps in 5 phases: common data environment, template preparation, modeling and checking, communication, processes, and procedures. But to fully understand any technology, it needs to be practiced. Many of us can learn from tutorials and the large collection of videos on the net. But when applying it to a real project, we may face lots of questions and obstacles. That's why it's advised to start with a pilot project. Also, defining the project stage is an implementation strategy to filter softwares and processes needed. Any project has many stages in its life cycle. They can be classified as design, construction, and operation. I chose to talk to you about the design phase since it's a fundamental phase for first interaction with BIM. There is a variety of software collection. Each has its own advantages and special features that will make you go for it. To make sure that all actions are possible and compatible, test your process workflow with the software before you start your project. For this presentation, I chose to work on Revit Autodesk as modeling software. Phase 1, Common Data Environment. Now, I cannot talk about BIM implementation without talking about ISO 19650. The ISO is an international standard for managing information over the whole life cycle of a building using building information modeling. It defines requirements and standards. The ISO standards call for project data to be stored and managed in a certain way. As a result, new ISO-compliant common data environments are being created to store and manage the project's data. Creating this single source of information facilitates collaboration between project team members and helps avoid duplication and mistakes. And that information is not just models, it's everything: documents, drawings, data, and model files. Consequently, first step in BIM implementation is to centralize your documents by using a container for your documents management. This container could be a server, a cloud drive, or a common data environment platform. Simple servers or cloud drives provide a good way to store data and share it. Sometimes you can assign appropriate permissions, though paid CDE provides extra options that enhances workflow control and respect the ISO 19650 standards. This is a good example of a common data environment, the Autodesk Collaborate platform. Lately, it has introduced naming convention approval workflow for uploading files and folders. The ISO 19650 says that the same process must be used for sharing information within the common data environment. The following diagram shows the process to be followed. There are four stages in a project: work in progress, shared, published, and archived. We assign metadata to each information container in order to facilitate the managing of the process. Consequently, we can maintain order and assert control over information. As a result, a specific folder structure is to be respected, influenced by the ISO 19650 information workflow status. There are folders for the four statues, in addition to other folders for resources and communication. As more and more informations are shared digitally, the use of a naming convention becomes vital. Naming convention is a table of codes and references that facilitates the classification and filtering of digital information. When developing a naming convention, it has to be well structured, consistent, and easy to understand. Again, in Autodesk Collaborate platform, you can add the project-specific fields and assign customized attributes. Naming convention is like talking the same language. It's just as if you're making your documents accessible for collaboration. You will be receiving a naming convention from the company you work with, or you will collaborate to create it. Keep the reference file accessible for all the team to be able to check if needed. Again, it has to be simple and clear, so the team does not have to open the description file every now and then. Phase number 2, update your template. Your first must-do family is the title block, because actually it contains all the project's informations, almost all the parameters needed to be prepared, and will be inserted in the sheet and aligned to the views. The sheet naming method is also detailed in the ISO 19650 through the naming convention. These codes and references are inserted in the template by using shared parameters. Some are obligatory fields and some are optional, while how you name it is up to you. You will have to prepare, or your company will do it for you, few tables of the different categories naming conventions. This will be included in the BIM execution plan, which will result a shared parameter file. Shared parameters can be of a large number. Its built-in strategy does not allow their modification in the future, which is a lot of work to do and redo. A free plugin from the roots, Paramanager, allows you to create and modify shared parameters and control them from an Excel sheet. I'm creating a new project from an Autodesk template. You can see there are no project parameters nor shared ones. I will use Paramanager to import the parameter list I work with usually. I can import all the parameters at once and will get their types, groups, shared or not, and the categories they will be assigned to. Now I have a list of project and shared parameters, all assigned to their categories. You can modify this list either from inside Paramanager or in the Excel file. For example, I will change the category assigned to the parameter. I can modify one parameter by one, or multiple parameters at once. The idea of using Excel as an intermediate between Revit and parameters is to use its smart features. For example, you can copy-paste multiple cells at once. You can change the name in an incremental way. Later when we finish, we will save the file and re-import it into Revit. This way we can have all the parameters modified, updated. And of course, at any moment you can export and import all these parameters into a text file that can be read by Revit. This file is the shared parameters file that is going to be used for all the team members. A welcome page with all the information about the model can be very useful to keep up with the updates. Informations like originator, responsible, updates, versions, contact names. Revit has the option to use a starting view. This view is helpful to get everyone to see the same thing when they open a project. So create a custom title block that contains all the information you want to see when you open a project, including project number and project name, address, and contact names. Use the option of starting view in Revit to select the welcome page you just created. This way, it will be the first thing all team members will see when opening the model. You will need to plan your project's Master Information Delivery Plan. MIDP is a primary plan, which is used to manage the delivery of information during the project lifecycle. Deliverables, which may be listed in the MIDP, include, but are not limited to, list of models, list of model elements, list of outputs, drawings and schedules, specifications, and responsibility. A list of expected views and sheets should be prepared from the beginning, with all the parameters and view templates associated to it. This will let you control the organization in an easy way. Again, DRoots offers two free plugins, SheetGen and TableGen, to create and modify your lists and tables in Excel and re-import them to Revit. You can create multiple sheets at once, using an existing sheet as a template. But let's try to do it in a smarter way. I will import the sheet list that we have prepared in advance in Excel as part of the MIDP. As you can see, all the new sheets have been created with the sheet name, number, and title block. An unorganized project browser is a pretty good sign that the model is badly managed and that the BIM staff has lost control. Therefore, it's imperative you come up with a good system to manage views and sheets. A basic technique you can use is to create an organizing project parameter. Ensure that all views have been assigned an organizing parameter. Also, you should include the parameter in the view template. I will add a shared parameter for project browser organization and will assign it to views, sheets, and schedules. It will be more practical if we included this parameter in the view template and make sure to associate a view template for all views. For the project browser organization, create an organizing template using this parameter in sorting and grouping. You can create different templates for sheets, views, and schedules. Of course, there are also other ways to control the project browser organization, like creating view types and sorting sheets by the leading character. Family library should be named according to the naming convention mentioned before. Add prefix of your company for the family type. You can modify these prefixes in the future for other projects and clients by using the Find and Replace option in the Family Revisor plugin from Droots. Again, you can create your own Dynamo script for this task and link naming codes with the family's parameters and name it as desired. The library folder is one of the most used folders that you will deal with. The Family Revisor plugin allows you to save your families in an organized way. Finally, when printing or exporting your sheets, you can automate their naming according with the naming convention by using the ProSheets plugin for Droots. Phase 3, Modeling and Checking. One of the main tasks I would advise is to create a reference model to be the starting point for all the team. This model is built from the updated template we mentioned before and contains the project coordinates and levels. This act will unify the levels of the project and allow future coordination between models. Make sure to publish these coordinates to all future linked models and files. Also, worksets are a very powerful tool in Revit and can be used in a variety of ways, mainly for large models split by zones or by buildings. Example of worksets classifications: one workset for each linked model, one workset for linked CAD files, one workset for heavy elements like furniture and entourage, workset for building shell, a workset for internal building, and a workset for landscape. Navisworks from Autodesk is an essential tool for any 3D model coordination that helps incredibly when coordinating with other trades. It accepts a variety of file formats, the model is easy to update, and you can create your own rules and templates to each for clash detection. Here I'm creating a clash test for a federated model between the structure and map disciplines. The test resulted hundreds of clashes that will be reviewed one by one. To facilitate the review, you have the option to group clashes by specific parameters. After some cleanup, we have few issues left, and the BIM coordinator will assign them to the concerned team members. Phase number 4. Organize your communication. As we mentioned before, building information modeling involves different disciplines and by default an infinite number of softwares. Also, it's known for its main focus on collaboration and communication in a project workflow. BIMTrack, a collaboration platform for BIM coordination, integrates with a variety of softwares and facilitates communicating issues between different formats. It's a powerful tool, yet very easy to understand. You can import views and clashes from Navisworks or create them directly. Your team members can review them on Revit without wasting time searching for their location in the model. The clash test results produced in the Navisworks Clash Detective will be published to BIMTrack to be accessible for all the concerned team members. Regardless of the software they are using, they can localize them instantly and do the needed modification. For the clients who are not necessarily using any modeling or checking software, there is an online viewer to keep up with the issues. Using a collaboration platform, you have access to many hubs. A hub, let's say, is a company you work with. You will find all projects associated to this company and all contact informations about the team, in addition to project settings derived from the BIM execution plan. The online platform contains all the issues created in the different modeling and checking softwares. Use the viewer to open and review the IFC model anywhere and anytime. You can also upload sheets from Revit and examine them while superposed on the model. We still need AutoCAD. BIMTrack has a unique labeling feature. It facilitates filtering and enables communication between 2D and 3D files. You can use and modify the existing attributes in the project settings. You can create new ones as needed. These attributes are detailed in the BIM execution plan to be generated on all the project. IFC models and PDF prints can be uploaded to the viewer. You have the possibility to displace, rotate, or scale the drawing. Create and configure an approval workflow. The process is managed in a fragmented way with a predefined scheme. You can now create cloud-based review processes for your project. This will allow you to manage and view the review process from everywhere, in addition to review, markup, and comment. This process has been semi-automated by BIM Collaborate Cloud platform from Autodesk. Last section, phase number 5, processes and procedures. Don't stop evolving. All the above steps bring you closer to a more effective and efficient workflow. Start working with BIM slowly, bearing in mind that you are at the beginning of your journey. This is the time to learn and try new working methods. Focus on reducing the time of your projects, automate repetitive activities, create the necessary processes. After some time, you will notice repetitive activities. This can be, for example, exporting 3D models to IFC format, naming folders and files, setting up coordination system, setting the print style, the way of creating drawing documentations, and the way of conducting meetings. Analyze and break down each of these activities into prime factors. Save each described process as a PDF file in an accessible folder for all the team. Finally, develop evaluation criteria for the different workflows. Introduce tools for monitoring the work efficiency. BIMTrack offers a ready-to-use Power BI dashboard with metrics tailored for construction projects.